Hey everybody, welcome to the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. So hey, what do we do on the Cardone Solutions Podcast anyway? Well, we like to take Grant Cardone's content, the stuff that's out on the internet right now, the stuff that is free. 80% of what we do is 100% free. So I like taking that stuff. Maybe it's an email that went out. Maybe it's a blog post or an article he's written, a tweet, something out on the gram. Haven't really dug into TikTok yet, to be honest with you, so I don't know what he's doing over there. But I'm going to take the free content, I'm going to dissect it, I'm going to analyze it with you, I'm going to give you some action ideas so that you can take this material, plug it into your sales and your business and your life. Most importantly, you can use it to become a better version of who you already are. Also, every now and again, I'm going to throw my own 2 cents into the ring, right, and give you some wisdom from Dave. And I also really enjoy sitting down and talking to people who have had success with Grant, who have used Grant's content to create something better for themselves, to become a better version of them, to create more for their lives and their families. And today, what I would like to suggest that you do, pull up a chair, buckle up, and get ready. I'm sitting down today with my man and former Cardone Training Technologies employee, Christopher Grigsby. I'm going to let Chris tell you what he does now. I'm going to let him tell you what he did with us, also what he got from us, what he is still getting from us, hopefully, but most importantly, what we're going to look at. We're going to look at 5 Cardone principles that Chris has used to survive not just one recession, but multiple recessions, and what he is implementing right now to get through COVID-19. He is going to reveal what has worked for him in the past, what is working for him now, and how he is using these principles to enter himself and his family into a place of prosperity, freedom. I wouldn't say freedom from stress or worry, but definitely security. Chris is going to talk to us today about how right now he is in the best place in his life. Let me just say that one more time. Right now, in this particular situation, in the climate that we're in the COVID world, he is in the best place of his life. He's also going to talk about some of the things that he learned working with us that he has used and incorporated into his next couple of jobs and gigs, and how he leveraged our strategies to land the current position that he's in. And I'll let him tell you about that because it's magical, but it shows up at the end. So you got to listen to the whole thing. Sorry. So my man, Chris, he's been in sales for just almost a quarter of a century. He's been following Grant for just about 15 years, if I did the math correctly. So I'm going to introduce him to you. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is an amazing human being. He's an awesome guy. He's funny. He's got a lot going on for himself right now. I'm very proud to be able to call him a friend. So without further ado, allow me to introduce my buddy, my friend, Chris Grigsby. Okay, hey, and we are live. What's up, Chris? Thank you for being here.
David Bradley, how are you, man?
I'm so good, and I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that we're going to talk about everything that we're going to talk about from the perspective of a former Cardone employee, revealing it all the secrets. So just for the kids at home that are new to this, that are just sort of tuning in, that don't know you, there's a few out there. Tell us like who you are and what you do, maybe a little bit.
Man, that's a long story. For starters, thank you very much, dude. For the kids at home, I listen to you driving to work every day, driving home every day. Listen to Grant, listen to Jared. I spent some time working with you guys, but backing up to the 90s, first starting out with Grant, cutting my teeth, listening to Grant, watching Grant on VHS, and I'm dating myself and you, yes, and Grant. Wow. But who am I? And yeah, late 80s, even early 90s. But before all that, dude, thank you very much. Dave and I go back a few years now. It's an honor, man. We talk on the phone a lot, we email a lot, we text a lot, but truly an honor, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm honored to push this out to people that need it, want it. I know, listen to you, listen to Grant, and the whole the community that follows GC and the 10X community, right? But to answer your question, man, who am I? I started in the late '80s, working for the U-Haul company right out of high school, and working in the traffic. Yeah, we have that story too. That'll be another podcast. I forgot that, actually. That'll be another story. David has his own U-Haul story. But man, my brother, who is not that much older than me, 6 years older, was in the U-Haul organization ahead of me. I graduated high school in '90, playing music, living like a rock star, partying. 99, I started working with my brother in the U-Haul company. He was running a few stores. I get in a company as a technician, and then a sales manager and GM of a store. And he starts running multiple organizations, and I start running those with him. Traffic, logistics, GM of a store, and then multiple stores, a few thousand pieces of inventory, trucks, trailers, haulers across multiple states. That grew into a pretty good career for a few years while I was still playing music and partying like a rock star. Multiple lives, split personalities. That turned into the car business in about '98, '99. And I have a 24-year sales career in the car business, which gravitated to me finding Grant in about '98, '99 when I started selling cars. Typical, the typical training, my training when I walked into a dealership was, hey man, here's your phone, here's your desk, here's a few brochures. Good luck, right? And I was lucky to find one or two guys that had some good game, that were spitting some good game that I could listen to and learn from. I was that smart, at least. Yeah. I found a couple truly upstairs in the conference room where they dumped me in my first week of training by myself, not training, but put me in a room to watch some tapes. I truly found those '80s, '90s Cardone VHS tapes and watched them, and I was at least a little smart enough to start cutting my teeth on that. And the rest is history, man. I from Cincinnati, Ohio, worked for a couple of others, continued to cut my teeth and just have a bunch of good mentors. Keith McCluskey in Ohio, David Weiler in Ohio, met Grant, met you, met Jared, gravitated through my career and had some great opportunities, and the rest is history.
And how, refresh my memory, you were with us for just over a year, right?
Yeah, about not even a year, truthfully, man. So a piece of backstory there. You and I met. I'm working for the Weiler organization in Ohio, Cincinnati.
Years ago.
One of the flagship high volume locations on the east side of Cincinnati, and I'm already a Grant fan, and I reached out via email. Hey, we want some training, right? Send an email. David Bradley responds, calls me right up. Hey man, David Bradley from Grant Cardone. Here's what I got, right? Yeah. We hook up on Cardone On Demand. This is my first. I'm inundated to you, Jared. I'm already, sick with Cardone and the Closer's Survival Guide and all the early stuff. And I hook up my store on Cardone On Demand. That turns into, this is 2010, 2011, man. So it's several years ago. And I had already been myself eating all this up for years. This is 2010, 2011. So I get my store, which is a multi-brand, multi-franchise, high volume, Chevy, Chrysler, Dodge, Kia, Mazda, high volume used cars, 700 to 800 new and used volume a month. Big volume store with the Weiler Group in Cincinnati, with 20 plus locations current day. And that since turned into that whole organization being Cardone On Demand, eating, sleep, and breathing everything Cardone, and it's turned them into helped them turn into the machine that they are. So yeah, that goes back several years, and you know, that's when I first met you and Jared and everybody else.
So, but when you what was it, when you decided to come work with us? I know you're in transition from a couple different things. What was it that let me go give it a shot?
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But that was 2010, 2011. A couple years there with Weiler. I moved to Chicago. I met my wife. We're now married. Met her in 2012. I was working with Weiler. Moved to Chicago. That move, actually, I reached out to Grant directly. Cell phone, called him, texted him. One of my claims to fame was I'm calling him, texting him, wearing him out. And he passed me off to Jared, and he said, "Hey, man, call this guy." Ends up, I moved to Chicago, and I worked with you guys for a while. So, yeah, it was several months selling Cardone On Demand, helping people coast to coast, right? Cardone On Demand, Cardone Technologies, all the solutions that you guys offer. And my dream gig, dude, I went for years. I'm like, I want to work with these guys. They help so many people. And this is what I want to do, my dream job. So it begs the question, why would you get the dream gig and then go back to retail? So the answer to your question first, that was kind of the transition. I moved to Chicago. I work with you guys, and I'm calling on dealers, man, dialing owners and GMs, and GSMs, and offering this great tool for sales training, right? That so many people need, like I had over the past years. And I guess I just realized, man, that's the answer to the question. But here's the answer to why I'm not doing it, why I'm back in retail. I wasn't done with retail. I didn't know then what I know now. I need retail, I guess. Yeah. I don't have it, but that's the best answer I have. I wasn't done. I'm still not done leading a team, grassroots, building a team, sales training, using Cardone and other tools. And as weird as it is, whatever that is, that why we do what we do, I still have the retail in me.
You know, there's a lot of people that come into the Cardone, ecosphere, work with us on something different. There's not. That is literally the best answer anybody could come up with. And I've had a lot of folks like on my side of things. I've had a lot of folks, and that's the answer that I give them every single time. Thank you. Much appreciated. But the bottom line is I am not done. And I can't even imagine being done, frankly. I was talking to a client earlier today, and I'm like, if you find yourself in a place where you feel like you know enough that you're done, then you drop the ball somewhere. You got to go pick it back up because you're never done.
That's it.
You're not. And if you don't.
It's stress. I ask myself every day, why don't I go back to selling? And I know we'll transition from car business to what I'm doing current day in a few minutes, right? But I'm still in sales. And I go to work every morning at 5 or 6 a.m. and I come home at 8, 9, 10, 11 at night. And I ask myself the question always, why don't I just go back to a simpler, why am I not selling? Why don't I just go back to selling cars, selling RVs? Why am I a manager? Why do I want the headaches, right? But I quickly remind myself, because I'm trying to help people, man. I'm trying to build a team, trying to help people customers, salespeople, culture, leadership. I feel like I got some good shit. Sorry, I'm going to cuss a little.
All right, drop them.
Uh,
Let them out. It's okay.
I feel like from Grant and a few other people and some things I've developed over the years, I feel like I've got some good shit. I just want to help people, man. So I just realized I'm not done. I got some stuff to grow and help people.
And I love that. I think it's interesting too. So, and if for those of you listening or watching, if you have not spent much time in the car business, but you've purchased vehicles in the past, I think we all know that there's a certain level of reputation that follows the car guy. So there's not a lot of professions that have a joke associated with it about, what do you call a group of at the bottom of the ocean? That's the lawyers and car salesmen, a good start, right? There's
Right.
It's
right.
You got to earn that joke, right? And so
That's it.
It's very hard, I think, for a lot of folks to recognize or wrap their head around that there are people in the industry that legit, straight up recognize that service is senior, that you can lose yourself in the service of others and find your purpose that way. And that can be tied into selling cars and RVs and helping people through that, right? So we should probably just let the cat out of the. Where do you work now?
Man, I'm currently with Camping World, publicly traded nationwide company, Marcus Lemonis. Do we tell this whole story now?
Why don't we weave it into the story? Because I want to get in, because we have a former employee who's going to reveal all. So what is the reveal? What is the reveal? Well, the reveal is this. Chris has 5 strategies that he's learned from Grant that he has implemented to survive not just the recession in 08 and 09, but a few others going prior to that. And then what is he going to do with strategies now? And so the thing that you want to think about is, in addition to strategy, maybe a better word, which would be principle. And one of the things where I think on the ethical salespeople versus the salespeople is ethical salespeople work off of principles. Non-ethical salespeople work off of tactics.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You're right, dude.
Right. So what are some principles of Grant's that helped you not just through recessions, but in terms of your entire career?
My God, man. I mean, do we have a 4-day podcast we can do? If I have to, of course, I've got notes ready, right? Because we have to time this out and not make it a 4-hour or a 4-day podcast. But I truly could go there. I mean, how many books? 5 books?
7.
I think, right? Is it 7? I mean, the content, 30 plus years of material content. How do you dumb that down to 5 principles? You can't. But I have. I had to pick my top 5. But before I go to those 5, man, I got to tell you, I kind of have to retrace back to 88, 90, 92. I won't bore you. It would take longer than we have, trust me, to go through the U-Haul, the car business, when I got real serious in the car business and realized I'm not just a salesman. I really want to help people. I start reading the books. I really dig in to when I meet you and Jared and Grant. Fast forward to when I'm working with you and Jared and Grant and I'm helping other dealers. Dude, that's not just 5 things, right? That's hundreds of things, if not thousands. So if I have to bring this down to 5 things, I'll tell you, I'll preface it with a 0, number 0 before the 5. Number 1 or number 0, I'm sorry. Success is my duty. There's the wristbands, there's the quotes, there's the books. success is my duty, man. It's my family depends on it. I depend on it. If I'm not if I am in a leadership role, my people, my team, everyone in my life depends on it. So it's not a trademark. It's not a shtick. Success is my duty, man. And I wake up at 4 or 5 or 6 a.m., whatever time my eyes open. I need to get it done, man. Success is my duty. And I live and breathe, sleep, and eat it. So it's 0. There's 5 more.
Right.
That's step 0 for me.
That phrase surrounds everything else.
Totally. 100%.
So what's number 1?
Number 1, after that, I mean, that's the framework for everything else, right? Number 1 would be assume responsibility for all results, for any results. This is something Grant said multiple times. You can find it, Google it, search it. It's probably in every book. It's on every YouTube. It's on every interview. Assume responsibility for all results. So I can relate this to current times. You know, today's my days run together, man. I slept 5 hours last night and went back to work. Today's the 21st, I think.
Sure.
May 21st, whatever day this drops in a few days from now, right? Current times, COVID. The last, most recent, the tough times, the recession, the tough times for all business, 9/11, and plenty more before that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's always my responsibility, right? I can sit home and cry about COVID and business getting tough and people getting laid off. Doesn't matter. We got to eat, dude. People got to eat. Business is going on. Nobody wants to hear why people can't pay their bills. It's my responsibility. That's number 1.
Said in a meeting,
I assume all responsibility.
Grant said the other day that if you're getting whacked, if you feel like you're getting whacked, if you're getting beat up, it just means you're not doing enough. And nothing is happening to you. It's happening because of you. And as soon as you can take that.
I want to make sure we touch on that.
Yeah, right.
That's it, dude. And we get through this 5. I want to make sure we touch on my story with my transition from automotive to camping world, which is not all that different industry, but kind of the same. And where I'm at and why. Got to make sure we touch on that. But that's exactly it.
Yeah. So number 2 then.
Number 2, it really ties in. A lot of these kind of tie together, of course. Fear. Fear is an indicator to do what? To sit home and be afraid?
Nope.
No, man. Fear is an indicator to take some action. Again, my step 0 was success is my duty in great times or bad times. It's up to me, dude.
Right.
And number 1, again, was it's up to me. Same thing. 0 and number 1 tie pretty good together. It's up to me. So fear is an indicator to take action, not to sit home and bitch about, I'm afraid of COVID. I'm afraid of 9/11. I'm afraid of the stock market and real estate and car business. Man, I've been in the car business for 24, almost 25 years. And I've always succeeded because I took action. Fear is not an indicator to sit home and bitch. Fear is an indicator to take action. That's my number 3. Or I'm sorry, my number 2. We're on number 2.
Yeah. And I love the idea. Like in the 10X rule, he talks about fear stands for false events appearing real. And I think it was Mark Twain. He gets credit for it. I don't know if he actually said it or not. Like, he says, I've had a lot of worries in my life, most of which I've had a lot of problems in my life, most of which So we tend to like fill in if anytime there's a vacuum of space, we have to fill it in with something. You add time to fear, you start creating all the scenarios that don't really exist, and you don't do anything. Hey, I'm scared right now. Do it, which I
Yep.
think for all of us to some degree, but that's
I mean, who does this not apply to right now, man? Again, it's May 21st, I think. Again, my days run together. Today is we're recording this on Friday the 22nd, actually. This has been going on since the first week of March, right? We're 8, 9, 10 weeks into this, man. And when this hit, who's not fearful from when it first hit, and all the bad news in the news, good, bad, indifferent, wherever you are on this, political, news, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter.
so scary.
Don't tell me you're not fearful, right? My wife works for one of the biggest financial institutions in the world, Capital One. She's working at home. Our kids, like any other children on this planet, are at home.
Right.
They finished their school year working on a computer, checking some boxes at home.
Yeah.
I'm thankful, and again, we'll talk about this. My job, right? What I've transitioned to. I'm working, man. Thankfully, we're good. But dude, who's not fearful? Who's not having to do some extra? Not be fearful, sit home and bitch, but do the work, man. This topic, fear is an indicator to take action, man. You just got to do the work, do more.
I remember my first. This is before I found Grant. When my 9 months in the car business, as maybe my third or fourth month, I had gotten basically fired 3 months in a row and was able to beg the manager to not blow me out because I wasn't selling. And when I was a kid playing baseball, I was always afraid to swing because I didn't know if I was going to get hit. I was afraid. I was just scared, and I didn't have a real coach. I was just, my dad worked a lot, and so he wasn't there, and the coaches thought I sucked, so they gave me zero attention. So like when I got up to the plate, I was just terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to hold the bat. I was just afraid to swing, and it was just terrifying. And when I started selling cars, like taking it up, because training was very similar. Right? Here's some brochures. Here's where we keep the keys. Don't let them.
Right.
Good luck, kid. Right? And so,
Yep.
Talking to my dad, and I'm like, he goes, "Well, how do you feel?" And I'm like, "I'm terrified." And he goes, "Well, yeah,
Right.
that's how I feel. I'm scared." He goes, "Well, what does it remind you of anything?" Or actually, as a matter of fact, now you bring it up, I feel like I'm 9 years old again, standing up at the plate, terrified to swing the bat. So he says, "Well, why don't you go to the batting cages?" So my first real sale was the batting cage. Swinging over and over and over and over. To be successful in this career, I have to go down swinging every time. And that was like my first real awakening as a sales professional.
I got to give you a quick correlation, man. And I don't know where it ties into my number 2 or number 3, but it definitely ties into what you just said. And I think this will help people. And we're going to go over the 30-minute mark with a couple stories, and I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
Dude, if we go back for me, to 88, 1990, me graduating high school, my first job, 91, working at U-Haul. I had a baby in 94. Man, I'm a kid, and I start that gig at U-Haul, and I I find my way. I'm playing music, man. I want to be a rock star. Now, don't get me wrong. If I had to go back and do some cool shit that I did over the last 35 years, I definitely would do it again. But if I go back to those, my first week, first month in the car business, even though that training, sadly, some of it still happens today, right? That here's your brochures, here's your desk, here's your phone, good luck, kid, still happens today, even though we have the tools we have. But there was nothing else back then. That was just the way it is. We're talking the late 80s, early 90s, right?
A stack of Joe Verdi newsletters from the 80s in like a manila envelope.
Right, exactly, right. But that spin that you just put on, you in baseball, in this, what you have, that correlation for you. Here's mine, dude. Here's what worked for me. I am not a natural born salesperson.
Nobody is.
No one is, right? I don't even remember, dude. Or mid 90s, my first sales job, when I went out 97, 98, whatever it was, I started selling cars. I something clicked for me. I remembered what I was really good at. I was good at playing drums. I was good at being in front of people. And I made this correlation. What really jazzed me, what turned me on, was performing arts. I'm a musician, dude. I'm 48, almost 49. If I could still be in a bar or on a stage and do it 4 or 5 hours a night and party, still would. Again, I'd go back and do it again. I ain't saying I wouldn't. I just can't, right? I can't unwind the clock. But what made sense to me was that's what turned me on. I knew that I was good at that. How was I good at that? Did I come out of the womb good at playing drums and performing in front of people? No. Dude, I had bleeding. I still have the calluses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't play drums much anymore, but I still have the calluses. I bled, right? The practice. At some point in the late 80s, early 90s, at some point something clicked for me. Man, you used to bleed and practice and rehearse and make this make sense repetitively, rehearse it, right? Are we connecting the dots?
Yeah, man. So
right?
how do we bleed that into numbers?
That it is that correlation, right? It's that rehearsal. It's that predictive. We know. I mean, what's the word? What's the phrase? We can predict that next activity,
Okay.
and it's not. It's not. I didn't write this down. Again, we might go over the half hour, but that predictive. We know we can predict what a customer is going to say. This doesn't mean we're taking advantage of them. It means we practiced and rehearsed. We know what's coming. We bled for this. I'm going to practice my word tracks and my objections, right? Everything Cardone and Cardone U and training. I trained myself to be a great drummer, a great musician, and perform in front of people. When I connected those dots, I became a good salesman. What's a good salesman? I know my product. I'm rehearsing. I'm practicing. Objections, closing, right? And all these tools.
So for you, number 3 is the power of prediction, like Grant talks about in Sell to Be Sold.
It is, man. It is.
It's about being 1 or 2 steps ahead, not of the customer, because that's weird, but the situation, the process.
That's it. And that was a tough one for me, dude. That's hard. I mean, maybe it's not for everybody, but I am not a natural born product guy. I'm not a natural born closer. Truthfully, I'm not a natural born anything. I need to practice. I mean, I think we all do. I need to rehearse it, practice it to get comfortable with it, and rehearse it so I can be prepared and be on stage and be comfortable, be confident, and be on stage. right?
When you're selling, you're on stage.
That's it. And that connected for me. And I think, dude, that's what people don't. They're good at something. We're all good at something. I had to realize in my early 20s, man, I'm so confident being on stage. I'm a great drummer, and I know I am. I'm a great musician. I'm so confident and cool, collected being in front of people.
Yeah.
Palms, man. When I started selling cars, I was so quiet. I'm not kidding you. My hands would sweat. I was quiet. I wanted to bring my customers to a corner where people couldn't hear me. But I had to think, man, why am I so good in front of people playing music? Because I'm confident. Well, why am I confident? Because I bled for this. Let me bleed for sales, man. Let me practice, get confident, right?
What you're reminding me of right now, when I lived in Los Angeles and I was selling cars on my days off, it was actually really motivating for me. On my days off, I would drive down. I was living in the San Fernando Valley. I'd cruise over to like either Venice Beach or Santa Monica, and I'd work out down there and run on the beach and hang out. And if you go down to Venice, there's like there's the old weight pit. And you look at any old pictures of Arnold working out by the beach. That's where that was. So I used to love to go down there, and right next to it was a basketball court. And there were some dudes on this court that were like, holy crap, these dudes could ball. Like they could.
Right.
And you're watching them, and you're like, and they're in their spot, and they're in their place, and they're in their groove, and they're doing their thing, and they're like, they are so talented. And I really started thinking about like, why isn't this guy in the NBA right now?
Yep.
He should be in the NBA right now. What is it that, what's the difference between that kid right there? He's like this little miniature Mookie Blaylock running around, jumping 6 feet in the air, slam dunking. What's the difference between him and the person? And like,
right.
And I really put just a lot of thought into it. And I think what it's actually is that guy is content shooting hoop down at Venice versus,
right.
And if you read, Tim Gruber's book, the difference between a cooler, a closer, and a cleaner, you got a lot of coolers down there that aren't willing to put in the work and effort and pay the price. And I don't even think Jordan was born, or Kobe, God bless. I don't think any of those guys were born cleaner. You're made. That's made, and that's forged. And
I mean, look, man, we've all watched, listened to, watched, heard everything about the relentless. I'm not a big sports guy, but trust me, I know, I respect. No, I'm not. I've never played sports, but here's my correlation: marching band, drummer. I put as much. Trust me when I tell you, I put as much blood, sweat, and tears into bleeding for playing music as any professional sports player shooting hoops, playing football, because I had that same passion. But trust me when I tell you this, man, you're right. There was not one Kobe or Magic or anybody that got that good without bleeding for that sport, dude. They sat there and shot hoop after hoop and took sack after sack and threw it and threw it and threw it and put it down until they mastered it.
And it's
so back to the point.
How you earn the power to predict.
You know what's going to happen, dude. But let's back this up again. You can predict it, the power of prediction, right? But even more importantly, your swagger happens because you're confident. How are you confident?
Yeah.
Because you practiced it and drilled it and drilled it and practiced it and bled for it. And that man, and I hope this goes out. I know it's going to go out to so many people. That's Cardone you. And that's the training. And that's every book. And that's the closing and the objections and drilling it, right? That's predicting it and being confident. Your confidence builds because you're practicing it every minute of every day.
There was a guy on the desk at the last dealership I worked at before I came to work in 2 weeks. And when he went in to close the deal, he closed the deal. And he had, I don't know how he did it. Somehow he magically created it. But the radio station is an oldie station. And she had a very specific swagger. And when he stood up in the desk to walk over the phone, to close the deal, every time that San Francisco kid came out. And his walk, I'll never forget the way he walked. He had this like, Francisco kid
Right.
was a friend of mine. And it's like,
Right. You could hear the soundtrack to.
he walked in that rhythm, and he would like slide into the table next to him. He had so much behind him that he knew that there's no way he's not coming back.
That's so great.
No way.
You can see those guys too, man. Car dealerships. Again, we'll come to this before we stop. My current role, which is not, man, it's sales. It doesn't matter what sales floor you're on. You can watch those guys who are walking back with the pencil. They got the worksheet. They're walking back with the pencil and their heads down. Or you can watch that guy walking with before the pencil. He's coming to the tower.
Right.
He ain't penciled shit yet. He's coming to me for the before the pencil, and you can hear the soundtrack playing behind him. The swagger's on, dude. You know he's confident. We're closing this deal, dude. You're right.
What's number 4?
Dude, number 4. So we're going to transition. Everything up until now, confidence. Success is my duty. Fear. I'm wrapping up. I'm bringing us up to speed, up to point, right? Fear is an indicator. This is my duty. I'm responsible for all my actions. That's probably out of order, but that's where we're at up to now. Number 4, man, criticism or haters. And really, this is one of my favorites. That was all the preliminary stuff. Now, game's on, dude. Criticism or haters is a sign of success, right?
I wish more.
This is a Cardone fundamental.
Yeah.
If you ain't got haters, you ain't got game, man. It ain't going on.
Yeah, I just wish more people got that. And I mean, like, that's such a life lesson. I mean, forget sales for a second. Like, can you imagine if, like, I don't know, a 6th grade girl understood that?
Right.
Right. If you're in 6th grade and you're a female, like, you're going to catch more shit than most people. Like, I just think back to like middle school, like how wrong, they're ruthless. And if you as a kid have that, knowing criticism is a sign that you're moving in the right direction, that in order to be successful in anything in life, you need haters. If you're a kid and you're a teenager and you have that awareness moving into the rest of your life, it would change your entire middle school, high school, and collegiate career.
Wouldn't it? Right. If you've had that knowledge is a preteen, right? Adolescent, preteen. If you knew then all the bullshit, all the naysayers, all the hate, you heard all that and like, shit, I got something going on, right?
And that it's actually
game on.
Success. You can't have success without it.
That's a fact, and that's something that, I mean, again, the preliminary stuff, all important, right? Not just checking boxes, super important. Everything we've talked about, and dude, that's only a couple. There's thousands. Right. That's what I came up with for my 5, but they're important.
Right.
Up till now, for me, that's preliminary. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. When I realized that if I'm getting some naysayers and some haters and some shit talking, and dude, can I drop one? Are we good? drop an F-bomb, or should I not?
Parental advisory.
I'm asking.
Drop your F-bomb with pleasure.
With pleasure, dude. If I'm getting some hating motherfuckers on me, I know I'm getting some shit done. Right? Yeah. And I don't want, on one hand, this is tough for me, dude. I'm the guy, I want to build rapport, all the things we learned, which was, it's not again, it's not checking boxes. It's all real. We want to build rapport. We want to get in good grace with people. We want to get up to speed to the point where we can now overcome objections and close a deal. And that's rapport. And they're not going to buy from us if they don't like us. That's real. For me, that's huge, right? That's not bullshit. But I had a hard time, and I teach this until this day, man. And not only do I teach it to this day, but I still struggle with it till this day. I want people to like me, dude, so much, because I know they're not going to do business with me if they don't. Here's the line in the sand.
This is one of these principles that we talk about versus tactic, right? If you're going to do
it is, dude. It is.
Trust them, and those things.
That hard line. If I'm not getting some criticism, customer or team members or social media, I want to be so likable. It's tough for me to get criticism, dude. I struggle with it to this day, and I'm telling you, transparently as I can be, it's tough for me. But I realized several years ago, if I don't get that criticism and hate, I'm not moving forward, right? So that is one of those steps. If we're not getting it, we're not moving forward, dude. If you're not getting criticism, you ain't moving forward.
Grant always said, my favorite Cardonisms is you need, if you want to be president, you need 49% of the country to hate your guts.
Right? That's it.
48%.
That's it.
I think that's, yeah.
So that's a big one for me. It's a tough one I have to work on every day, man, because it's a balance, right? I want people to love me, man. I truly do. If they're not, I won't earn respect. I won't earn trust. I'm not going to get the business, family, friends, business, money, if they don't like me or trust me. But that line, right, that fine line, the criticism, the hate, when I succeed, when I grow, if I don't get the hate, I finally realized if I'm not getting some criticism, man, you're working too hard. You're doing too much. Why are you doing that? Right? I need that. And it used to be a tough one for me, and I work on it daily.
What's really interesting is that a lot of people that, and probably where you get the most criticism and hate, I know this is where, when I get it, is where it comes from, is that it's usually the folks that are resistant to the idea that success is a duty.
Yep.
They don't want to assume responsibility for their entire condition of life, that they are afraid and not using the fear, but being used by it. They don't want to put in the work to earn the confidence and the power to produce. And so because
that's it,
it's still the first four that you brought up, it becomes very easy to throw negative energy at somebody who will.
Yeah, that's it, man. And doesn't everybody, Grant tells you this, Grant teaches you this, and it's a tough one to get your head wrapped around. Everybody's got to go through that hate piece, right? We're gonna go through it naturally. That naysayer, and there's two sides of it. There's the one giving the hate, but I've reached a point where I respect it. I know they have to go through it. I want to bring a lot of my people through it. If I'm in a leadership role, I want to bring them through it. I know they're going to hit it. And I want to bring them through it to get them to the other side. Me as a leader, I still, like I said, I really struggle with it. I never, before the last few years, I didn't want to get there. Now I'm on the other side. Now I want to bring people through it. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to curse here again. My apologies. If I can't get them through it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
it means you're not there. And that's okay, right? Customer, team member, if I can't get you through it, it's okay. I'm moving on, right? I know I'm going to get it. Team member, customer, I'm going to get some hate. Family, friends, customer. If I'm succeeding, I need the resistance. I need the hate. It's a tough one for me. It's even tougher for them, was what I had to realize. I'll get you through it, or I'm moving on.
Feel for you.
That's it.
Man, that's okay. We officially crossed into deep.
That's it. You're right.
We're into deep water now. What's number 5?
Man, 5 really. This is still tough for me, dude. If I'm really on my game, I'm as transparent as they come, man. No bullshit. I feel like I'm on my game. I am on my game all the time, but I'm in different modes, right? I listen to you. I listen to Grant. Ed Milet, Bradley. We talked the other day, man. I named off a few, and there's others. Why do I listen to you? Why do you and I talk? And for everybody watching or listening, and I hope it's a bunch of people, here's something I'll text David and say, man, I haven't talked to you for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. I'm jonesing for my dose of Bradley, right? Why do I listen to Grant every day? Why do I listen to some other folks and John Maxwell, my favorite leadership coach? Why do I have the mentors I've put where I've put them on the way to work, on the way home? Why are we doing this right, dude? Right? I need coaching, and I feel like I got some good shit. I got some good game, and I can give some good shit to my people and build them up. But I ain't there, man, and I'll never be there 100%. I always want to be better. So that's my enter to the final. Champions dominate. Don't be a little bitch. And dude, I'll tell you this. Before David and I did this broadcast, I went looking. I know I used to wear them. I used to give them to my salespeople. I would bring up my wrist right now and be like, champions dominate. Don't be a little bitch. I worked in Dave for a while, and I came home, and I couldn't get there quick enough. I wanted to show it off. I didn't get there. I failed. But let me tell you something. If you start my step 0, success is my duty. Fear is an indicator of success. If you're not first, you're last. And everywhere we've come in this conversation, and again, that's only 5. There's thousands. What brought me to where I'm at, and I ain't done yet. What brought me to where I'm at is busting through all this and realizing, man, I want to dominate. I want to push through and be a champion. Champions dominate. I'm not competing with anybody. Champions dominate. I ain't competing. I'm my little bitch. I'm not going to sit home and be fearful and be a bitch and complain. I'm getting it done. That's number 5. And truthfully, as we segue through these, it's 5, but it is the final. It's most important, dude.
So for those that are kind of new to, whether it's me or if they're new to Grant, I always like making sure that there's full clarity on this, right? So like for us, even if you look it up in the dictionary, we're going with the second definition, which is to express displeasure or grumble. And and it's a verb. So bitches, it's like, man, I don't want to do it. You complain all the time. You've always got, like the 4 great rules, which is to be successful. Show up early, stay late, have 10 days work for everyone, be able to, and have like no complaints about the current condition of the planet or what the world is in. In other words, a little bitch. Like there's just no, it is what it is. You either do something about it take full responsibility for it, like you said. Be a fuel source for you, and then get after it, right? Or not. And
Right.
both respond, which they truly are. It is a decision as a consequence. Right?
Man, I couldn't agree more. It's like I said, it's everything that leads up to, and this is where it really all ties together, right?
Right.
Champions dominate, don't be a little bitch is for me. And now that I've come full circle, not that I don't have a lot to learn, I'm still a student, but now that I've come to champions dominate, don't be a little bitch, for me still means the same as fear is an indicator of do more.
Yeah.
Am I going to sit home and be fearful of COVID or 9/11 or whatever other bullshit? Or
Right.
go to work, man. Right? Get it done. I could sit home and bitch and everybody starve and complain and be fearful, or go to work and get some shit done and produce and help my people and help customers. This is where step 0 to 5, they really start to be all the same for me. They're not 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. This is where all these thousands of principles in quotes of grants become all one for me. And I hope this, for all the people watching, and I hope this goes, I know it's going to go out to so many people and help so many people. It's where it's all like, it all comes full circle, right? We're all, you can sit home and woe is me and be fearful, or be first. If you're not first, you're last. And closers survive, the closer's survival guide, right? And 10x everything you do, man. I'm waking up at 4:30 and I'm going to work. I'm there at 6. I'm first, because if I'm last, my people are leaving at 7 or 8 o'clock and I'm leaving at 9. It all comes full circle for me.
Love it. And I love the fact that you're able to find one phrase that you can have, like, capitulate all of that.
Yeah, man.
So if somebody is in the market for an RV in the greater Chicago area, how do they get a hold of you?
So, man, we're getting a little bit of that delay. I hope this is coming through okay, recording okay. Before I answer that, can I tell a quick story?
How did you wind up there? Yeah, let's cover that, and then also you're hiring too, right?
Dude, yeah, let's do those couple things real quick. How did I end up there? It's real important to me, man, because I'm how excited I am, challenged, like a lot on my shoulders, a lot on my plate, but I'm not happy or satisfied if there's not a lot on my plate, right? Everything we've talked about, like if I was comfortable right now, something would be wrong, right? 23 years car business and everything we just talked about. This past January, big shift for me. Pre-COVID, early this year, right after New Year's, I made a big shift. I parted companies with an automotive company, and I put a post out on LinkedIn, a video post on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. And listen, again, Cardone, you, Jared, Grant, everybody. If I didn't learn what I learned from you guys and working with you guys, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't have done what I did early this year. So I parted ways with this company on Monday, January 6th. It's a date that's ingrained in my brain, not because of bad news, but because of the action I took. And I hope so many people take this home and do something with it and help people. Got a phone call. Like, hey man, we missed a big target last year. So unfortunately, we're going to eliminate some field ops and some enterprise salespeople. And, this was a buddy of mine. And that's cool, right? Unfortunately, we're going to have to do away with your role and a couple others. All right, cool. That day, put a video up, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I'll go through this quick. There's more to it, but the quick story. Next day, my wife, I touched on. My wife's in the automotive business. She works for Capital One, dude, a worldwide financial company, automotive, mortgage, credit card. What's in your wallet, right? And we both have great relationships with so many people. I've worked for a bunch of great people, and I have great relationships across the country with people like you, Grant, dealerships, right? So I put this out there, and in 2 days, I have like 10,000 hits on the video message. And of course, it makes me want to thump my chest, and I did some cool shit, because I did. And I get a call from a guy in Oklahoma City, one of the VPs of the company with Camping World. And I did. I'm going into another meeting to talk about a job with a dealership. I came out of that meeting. I called the number back because it didn't leave a voicemail. I called the number back, and I heard Camping World, Oklahoma. And I'm like, whatever, telemarketing, whatever. One day goes by, I get another phone call. The guy had enough tenacity, and I love him for it. He calls back. His name's Donnie. And he calls me. He says, hey, man, I answered this time. Saw your post on LinkedIn, man. I'd like to talk to you. Fast forward, we had a great conversation, dude. And it was the coolest conversation. Of course, job oriented and company oriented, but so personal and so much my speed. And the guy asking me, man, tell me about your family. Where'd you come from? And what about you and your people and your family, dude? I can't tell you, man. It just blew me away. And I'm like, I don't care about money. Obviously I care about money, right? But we'll get there. This is so great for me already. I want to talk more. Yeah. We talked for 3 days in about 5 or 6, 7 hours on 2 or 3 different phone calls. Fast forward again, this is January, pre-COVID. We checked a few boxes and talked through all this. And he's like, man, I'm going to be at a big RV show in Tampa next week, second week of January. And I'm like, well, I'm in Chicago and it's really cold. And Tampa sounds really warm. So I'll see you there, right? So I fly to Tampa. We meet, me, him, and the division president and a few other VPs of the company talk. And that's already a long story. There's more to it, but it's so cool for me, man. This is the best people that I've ever talked to in 3 decades of business, and a bunch of cool people, and worked for good people and represented good people and good companies. The best people that I could have ever talked to that care about customers and employees. So fast forward, man, I get hired. We ink a deal. I start. COVID, shit hits the fan. And man, I'm still the new guy. Today's May 22nd. We're 2.5 months into COVID. Let me back up and tie all this together real quick. Success, champions dominate. Don't be a little bitch. The effort. If you're not first, you're last. Man, am I the smartest cat in the world? No. But I'll show up first. I'll outwork anyone.
Mm.
I'll be first, I'll be last leaving. And I believe to this day, man, these people care about people. Hard decisions have been made. Like any other company, I'm here because I believe these people. I believe I'm worth. Confidently, I can say I'm worth it, and they're worth it. And man, I'm at a loss for words. I guess I can't tell you how excited I am to be with this company. So, with that said, COVID happened, tough few weeks. It's May, business is booming. I love these guys, and your question was, where am I? And that's how it happened. It's the end of May, moving last week of May into June. I need people. I work for the most amazing company I've ever worked for, could imagine. Marcus and all these guys across the country. And I'm hiring. I need techs, service technicians, porters, parts, salespeople. I'm hiring. If you are in the service industry or retail or car business, I want, and I know that's a ton of, I'm spewing a lot of info, but I want to talk to you, man. And I'm excited to move forward with this company, and I need help. I'd love to talk to you.
Let me ask you this, because there's two. I was talking to another manager earlier, and since we're on the topic of hiring, do you prefer hiring sales guys with experience or without?
Great question, man. Of course, I would love any sales experience, but I didn't have it when I started selling. Back to the here's your desk, here's some brochures, figure it out, kid. That so many of us had. But now there's the me, and I can say this, and pat myself on the back. Now there's the me's and you's of this industry. I will help. I will help you get there. So experienced, hallelujah. Inexperienced service, restaurant. I mean, dude, listen. Again, current times. I know we're coming out of this. COVID, shut down, businesses, restaurants. People are home, needing work. Restaurants, retail, car business, whatever, man. I want to talk to everybody, and I will help everybody.
So you'll mold them, and if they've got experience and you need to unwind some stuff, you can do that too.
Absolutely, man. 100%.
Just curious, what's been your favorite part about working at Camping World now?
I'm sorry.
Bit of pop? Like, what's been your favorite part? You back?
I am back. Sorry. One more time.
What's been your favorite part since work starting with Camping World?
Man, I had a meeting today with my full store. I just took over at Camping World, Chicago, way north. We're not in the city of Chicago. We're in Wakanda, Illinois.
What kind?
Way north. Wakanda.
Like Black Panther Wakanda?
Exactly. Right? Way almost Wisconsin, right? Again, I've been here for 2.5 months. I'm the new guy. I'm the rookie. I know squat about RVs. Here's what I do know. I know people. I know sales. I know relationships. And I know helping people and growing teams. I may never know the product. I'll be honest. I don't care about the product. I care about helping people.
Yeah.
I had a meeting today, my first time. I took this store over as the general manager barely 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago. My dream gig. All the time, I hope I get there, and I'm there. And I met with my whole store, sales, parts, service, some people in the back end I don't even know yet. And I had this meeting for that reason, because I don't know a lot of people that work with me and for me. Not for me. I hate saying that work with me. And I told them a couple things, dude. This was this morning at 8 o'clock this morning, today, Friday, 22nd. I think it's the 22nd. I keep losing track of my days. Man, I have 2 or 3 things I want to do. I want to bring you culture. I want to create some relationships. I want to find a way to say yes to every customer at a time. And I want to year, 10 years better than I found it. So what's great for me with Camping World, dude? It's the best gig I could imagine. It's my dream gig, dude. The people, the relationships, the people I met in corporate positions that hired me, and again, flew to Tampa and met these guys, and now I'm running this store as a rookie with so much to grow and learn. Dude, it boils down to this. Still people and relationships and earning their business, man. Teamwork, leadership is an honor. All I want to do is serve people, and I would love to have people call me. I need to build on. I'd be excited to talk to people to add to that team.
Okay, so if somebody's listening and you are in the greater Chicago area and you need an RV or you're ready for a new opportunity, what's the best way of getting a hold of you?
Our connection slowed down, dude. One more time.
So just how do people, if somebody either wants to talk to you about the job or if they're market for an RV, like what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Man, my cell phone. Please grab a pen and write this down. Call me on my cell. I still have my Ohio phone number. 513-515-2472. Direct out. Text me, call me, my phone number. Email Christopher. It's what my mom calls me when I'm in trouble. Christopher.Grigsby@campingworld.com. But the phone number is the best, man. Call me, text me.
If anybody else had any doubt about you being a consummate professional, the way you just delivered your pauses in between, so you can write it down. That shows you know what you're doing.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
Well, man, so yeah, we definitely put some quality time into the podcast here. I truly appreciate you. I know how valuable your time is. So the fact that you were here with us to deliver these, 6 solid principles.
Right.
Every single one of these, if those of you that are listening, if you guys find ways to incorporate these in life, it will have a dramatic and immediate impact on how you live, how you work, not just work, but like in your family life. It'll impact you on every level. So I can't thank you enough. Honestly, you have acquaintances in business and you have friends in business, and I love the fact that you've become to me very good. So thank you for being here. Is there anything else you want to say or share before we bounce?
Yeah, again, dude, I can go on. You know me, I can talk for days. So I'll try to be brief. I love you, man. And you and your whole team, we've carved a great relationship in the last several years. And we're probably pushing an hour when we planned on a half an hour.
We blew it.
Yeah, right. We blew it. We failed. I truly, every couple of weeks, whoever's watching this, trust me when I tell you, I text David Bradley or leave a voicemail, and I'm like, dude, I'm jonesing for my Bradley fix. You got to call me. And I mean that sincerely. And of course, I'm listening to the John Maxwells and the Bradleys and the Ed Milettes. These are my favorites. I cut my teeth with Uncle G back in the 80s and 90s, and that makes him old. He's an old dude. But man, he's the king. You guys, you and the whole team, I love you guys, man. What an honor to talk with you and share this out. I hope it helps people. And again, I want to tell you, selfishly, I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life, personally, professionally, because of you and that whole team, man. And I love you guys. I appreciate it.
So much for being here.
Thank you, brother.
So I hope you were taking notes. I hope you jotted down the 5+1 that he gave us, the 5+1 principles to survive a recession, to get through any economy, and to actually be the cause of your own economy. If you just start thinking with what you can do, how you can incorporate a phrase like success is my duty, how you can start assuming responsibility for all results. Nothing's happening to you, it's happening because of you. If you can just get there. And fear as an indicator to get moving, to do something, and not just sit around and wait for something to happen, right? To not get, what's the word? That's why they call it petrified. You get stuck, like to just not get stuck in a place of fear. To understand that the power of prediction is what gets you confidence in not just sales, but like in any kind of business or sport or artistic endeavor, right? Because Chris is a drummer, okay? Man, the idea about criticism, and knowing that it's coming and being prepared for it, and then using it as a sign that you're going in the right direction. And then to wrap it all up with champions dominate. And that first starts with how you think, and to just not be a little bitch. Okay? So I hope this helped. I would love to get some comments from you, some feedback, like which one of the 6 that he laid out for us resonated most with you? Which one got you most excited? Which one are you going to start? Have you already started thinking with, man, I got to get that dialed in even more, right? Throw me some comments on this one. Also, don't forget, if this was valuable to you, if you got something out of it, if it helped, if it served, please make sure that you share this with somebody else. If it helped you, I promise you it's going to help somebody else. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the Cardone Solutions podcast, please do so. Last but not least, don't forget Cardone University. None of this could have happened for him if he wasn't consistently studying, training, and looking for ways to improve himself as a professional, as a salesperson, as a human being. So the fact that he uses Cardone University and has used it in the past to create something massive for himself, that doesn't, you should be doing it too, okay? And right now, Grant's got 14 days free access to that program and an opportunity to come to one of our 10X business boot camps in Miami, Florida. That's a 3-day deep dive into sales, marketing, business development, culture creation, life enhancement. 3 days deep dive with Grant and the sales team. You don't want to miss that. And there's a bundle available for you right now to where you can get a year of Cardone University and come to a boot camp for the low, low price of only $1,497, right? That is a steal. Okay, so take advantage of that while it's available to you. Go to cardonesolutions.com/CardoneU free. That's cardonesolutions.com/Cardone, the letter U, the word free. If you have any questions about that, if you need some more information on the boot camp, what happens there, dates, right? Feel free to ring me up or shoot an email out to me. My email address, david@grantcardone.com. Direct line here at the office, 310-777-0352. Thank you so much for listening. I'm going to leave you with the words of Grant Cardone. Be great, because nothing else pays.